you're someone who's currently battling an attachment of yours, or who's currently dealing with an addiction of yours, and no matter what you do, no matter how many methods you apply, no matter how many things you try, you just can't seem to get this addiction out of yourself or out of your impulses, then this video is for you. Because in this video, I'll share with you why we get attached to certain things, or why we get addicted to certain things, and I'll also share with you exactly how you can deal with this addiction of yours and deal with this attachment of yours and remove it for the rest of your life. And guys, this addiction can be anything. The addiction can be as big as being addicted to something that is really, really harmful for you, or it can also be these really, really tiny bad habits that you have that are stopping you from living your full potential, such as always thinking about a person that you know you should not be thinking about, or going out on a regular basis because you like that dopamine that you get from it, or you just being addicted to your phone, or you being addicted to a certain type of content that you consume, anything. And even though we may think that these attachments are very tiny, these attachments are very trivial, and these are some bad habits that we have, but these are some bad things that we do, but they don't really affect our life at large. These attachments do decrease the quality of your life by a significant percentage, and whether or not you realize it, these attachments are these tiny little baggages that we carry with ourselves for the rest of our life. And wouldn't life be just a lot better if we weren't carrying these things? The first thing that we need to understand is, why do we get addicted to certain things, or why do we get attached to certain people, or why is it that no matter how much we try, we can't get rid of this thing? That is only because every single attachment that we have in life, or every single addiction that we have in life, is actually serving a purpose, and that is that this attachment of yours is filling a void in your life. It is this emptiness that we feel in our life, and we feel like this thing that we do, or this person that we talk to, or this thing that we consume, or this place that we go to every single day actually fills that void, gives us a shortcut to fill that void, that makes us feel whole and complete. And now, because we know that life is so much better with this thing in our life, we actually don't want to let this thing go. This void has actually become so much bigger now, and this attachment has filled that void in such an amazing way, in such a shortcutty way, in such a fast way, that now if we let go of this attachment, it'll be even more difficult to fill this void with other things. If you're attached to drinking a lot of alcohol every single day, and you feel like no matter what you do, you just can't drop drinking, then maybe that is a void that you're filling with drinking. You feel like you're a little bit more social when you drink. You feel like you're a little bit more outgoing when you drink, or you feel like you have more personality, you can shine more, and all these things. And that's why you start drinking alcohol. But whether or not you realize it, that alcohol may help you to get that, social personality, but that will only happen for the first few times. It will happen maybe for the first 10 times, the first 20 times. The next time you drink alcohol, you will not get that much of a high, right? You may get that social thing that you get while you drink alcohol. You may get like, I feel so good, I feel so happy. But every single time you do it, the high that you get from it will decrease. And there'll be a time where you'll feel like, I want to drink alcohol and I don't even get the buzz from it, but I'm just drinking it because that's all I know. That's how I am in social situations. So I don't know my social life without it. And now you're attached. And now even if you're not getting the buzz from it, you just will go for it, because now it's a habit that you've built. And it can also be with relationships. There are certain relationships that we stick to. Maybe we have some issues from our past, we have some issues from our childhood, and we feel like that this person fills that exact void. Even if this person is not the one for you, even if this person does not have everything that you want, just because this person has the ability to fill that void, you stick to it and you get attached to it. And now when this person leaves your life, that's when your life starts to fall apart, because you need that thing in your life to fill that void, right? And that is exactly how we get addicted to certain things, and that is exactly how we get attached to certain things. But the good thing is that we at least know what causes our attachments, and we at least know that this is nothing to be scared of, this is nothing to be worried about. All we have to do here is to identify that personal void in our life with a particular attachment, and really think about, why am I attached to this thing, and what exact void am I trying to fill with this thing? What is that one thing that you're trying to look for in that particular thing, and then try to give that thing to yourself in a healthy manner. If you're someone who's trying to be a lot more social, and you feel like alcohol is the only way you can get that in your life, then maybe sit down today and try to actually look for methods to build your personality in a way that you are just someone who is social, okay? That you are someone who likes to interact with people, read books about it, okay? Do the work, really. That's the only thing that will help you to get rid of this attachment. And at the same time, if you're someone who's attached to a particular person because you think that this person is your ideal match, but they're still not very good for you, but you're just attached to them and you don't know how to get out of this love that you have for them, quote unquote love, obviously, then maybe think about what is this person giving you that you're lacking right now, and how can you give that thing to yourself. Maybe this person makes you feel very loved, this person makes you feel very nice about yourself, and how can you do all these things for yourself in a healthy manner? What all can you do right now to become the person who loves themselves? And again, watch videos about these things, read books about these things, try to become that person every single day, and don't go to any relationship until you've mastered this self-love of yours. Because now when you actually go to look for a relationship, you won't look for one just for the sake of it or just to feel loved. You'll actually look for someone who's on your level, who gets you, for your personality, for the way you are, and all these things. And that's exactly the beauty of getting rid of our attachments. But the next question is, while we're in this journey where we're trying to improve ourselves, we're trying to work on ourselves, we're trying to get these things in a healthy manner, how do we resist the urge of going for that thing again? Because that is where a lot of us falter. We all know that we have to do all these other things. We all know that this thing is not good for us. We all know that, there are healthier ways of getting these things, but we still don't do it, right? We still let ourselves fall into our own little trap, and we let ourselves be trapped again in those addictions. So how do we actually fight that urge, and how do we actually make ourselves not fall into that attachment black hole? So the first thing that we need to understand over here is that you have to realize that you are human. Don't be so hard on yourself, really. When you're trying to build a new lifestyle for yourself, when you're trying to become a better version of yourself, and you're trying to leave your old habits behind, it is very important for you to be with yourself in that journey. You can't be against your own self. You have to be in your team. Because usually what we do is we know that this thing is bad for us, and we tell ourselves that this thing is bad for us and we're not going to do it again. But then after 2 days or 3 days we slip, right? And then we're like, what, I am this person, I just am someone who's addicted to these things. This is just who I am now, and I will always be addicted, I will always be like this. How can I do this to myself? And we talk very negatively to ourselves, and we basically put our own self down. We say things like, so why am I even trying, and I should not even try. And then you go back into your old self very fast. The only reason you went back to your old self was because you weren't on your own team. What if you slipped and you said that, okay, I slipped, but it's okay, I'm with you and we can do better and we will not slip again. Let's take this as a challenge and let's not slip again ever. Then chances are that you're very less likely to slip again, because now you're on your own team. And step number 2 to get rid of this addiction of ours is to also stop being so logical about all this, okay? Logic will not help you out of your current state of being. Logic only helps you to make better decisions in life, to make smarter decisions in life. It helps you to analyze things, it helps you to evaluate things, it helps you to go really up in your career. But when it comes to your state of being, okay, the way you're going to live your life, then logic is not going to come in, because then you will definitely find ways to justify your addiction in one way or another. And you'll be like, what, I can do it today because I just am free and I've done my work and all this, and we'll try to logic our way out of it. And then there will also be times where you will justify to yourself why you should not do all these things, and then you logic your way out of that as well, because logic can really help you to make really good decisions. And if you use the logic enough, you will be able to logic yourself out of it every single time. So you cannot be logical about this thing. It is a life decision that you're taking from now on. What you have to do instead is that you have to just ask yourself one simple question. And if the answer of this question is that you should not do this thing anymore, then that will be your path. And if the answer of this question is that, okay, maybe I can stick to this thing for the rest of my life and I won't have any bad repercussions from it, then you can go with your path number 2, right? And the question is, what is this thing costing you? Just evaluate right now, just evaluate today, that if you continue to engage in this thing for the rest of your life, because come on, like we can't say that, okay, I'm not going to do it today and then after 1 week I can do it again, and then I won't do it for 5 years, and then after that I'll do it again. No, it's a life decision that you're taking for yourself. So even if it's that continuation cycle of doing it today, then not after 5 months, and then after 1 year or whatever, you're still going to do it for the rest of your life. So just think in that perspective and answer that question for yourself. Maybe it does not cost you a lot and you feel like I can deal with it and I can stay with it and I can bear the repercussions of it. And the repercussions will be different for different people. Someone who has a very, very good lifestyle, who is living their best life and has a very, very good body, a very, very healthy body, maybe can deal with those repercussions. But you have to think for your own self and evaluate, can I deal with the repercussions of this thing or not? And then if the answer is no, because usually the answer is no, so there's this Princess and the Pea story in which the princess sleeps on these very, very nice and very, very luxurious mattresses, and there are like hundreds of those mattresses because she's supposed to have the best sleep ever. But there was this pea in the middle of those mattresses, and the princess slept on those mattresses. The next day she woke up and she was like, I could not sleep very well, I could not sleep very nice, because that pea in the mattresses was still there. So your life can be as amazing as you could ever imagine, but that little pea will always be there. It'll be this one bad habit that you have in the back of your head, and you know that you should deal with it, you know that you should get rid of this, but you've just given into it, and that little pea will stay with you for the rest of your life. And even if the rest of your life goes very comfortably and you feel like you've done a lot, you've achieved a lot, you've become the person that you wanted to be, that pea will always cause a lot of discomfort in your life, whether or not you consciously realize it, because that one single pea is that pea that you didn't sort of deal with, and you thought that it was way better if the pea was left in the mattresses and you never had to deal with it again. Even though you didn't deal with it, it definitely disrupted your sleep, aka your life. So if that is the case for you, and if you feel like this thing will always stay at the back of your head, it will always stop you in certain ways, it will always hold you back just a little bit from your full potential, then that is a very, very big sign for you to take the other road. And that is a road without this thing in your life. And once you've made this decision, that is it, okay? And that is how you're going to go about your life. You tell yourself that this is the decision that I've taken for myself, and this is the path that I'm going to walk now, and I'm not going to look at the other road ever. And the way we never look back at that habit, or the way we never do that thing, is by just surrendering, okay? Accept it like it's your new reality, accept it like it's your new fate, and you have to just surrender to the process instead of trying to logic your way in or out of it. So you have to wake up every single morning and tell yourself that this is the life that I've chosen for myself, and that is what it's going to be, okay? And then you live with that mentality and you surrender to the things that are happening in your life. You just look at yourself as someone who's a non-smoker if you're trying to quit smoking. You have to look at yourself as someone who just doesn't smoke come what may, and you have to accept that as your new identity. Accept it like it's your fate. You know how certain things happen in our life and we're like, I have no idea why this is happening, but we accept that thing as it's our fate and we live with it for the rest of our life, and eventually that thing turns out to be for the better, right? That's exactly how you have to live your life from now on if you genuinely want to get rid of that attachment. And then when you get that urge to go do that thing again, or when you get that urge to try that thing just one more time, you will just sit down and you will start breathing before acting on that urge of yours. Just sit down, just relax, and try to think about your higher self. Try to think about the person that you're trying to become and what that person looks like and how you really want to become that person. And then also try to remember God a little bit. And when you do this, that's when you feel the presence of God. That's when you feel like there is something which is above you that is protecting you. Because the moment you sit down and think of God and you literally just pray to God that, okay, God, I'm getting this urge, I'm getting this thing of really wanting to do it, but I want to give this urge to you and I want you to destroy this urge completely, and I just want to sit in silence with you for some time so that you can help me get out of this, this urge thing that I have. That's when you'll feel the presence of God. That's when you'll feel like, okay, there is something that is protecting me. Because the moment you do that, that urge won't be that big. that urge will get a little bit small, because obviously you sat down, you were at peace, you remembered something that was bigger than you gave that problem to that thing, and now you feel so much lighter because that problem is not yours anymore, that problem is God's. And then you just sit at peace for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever time you prefer, and then get up and don't do that thing, and then again surrender to your new life and surrender to your new state of being. The moment you do this, that urge will die so bad and you won't feel that urge to do it again, because you just felt like you gave that problem away. That problem is not yours to carry anymore. And then the more you can do this, the more you can implement this new lifestyle of yours, the more you can give away this problem as and when you get it to God, and you can just surrender to your new life, your new state of being, the easier and easier it will become for you to get rid of that attachment, and the easier and easier it will become for you to become that highest version of yourself, that person that you think that you really can become. If it's someone who is a non-smoker, who's very healthy, who's very fit, who has really healthy, loving relationships in their life, then that is the person that you're going to become. And that is exactly how you break your addictions and you break your attachments. All it takes from you is to make that decision for yourself today, is to identify what void you're trying to fill, and then just go down that path and never ever look back. And if you have the courage and the ability to do that, then literally there is an entire amazing path which is ahead of you. You literally have God in your team. The more you remember God when you're in this process, the easier it gets. And I'm genuinely hoping that whatever it is that you're trying to escape from, you actually escape from that thing and live the best ever life. And if you're interested in content like this, content about life, about meaning, about productivity, about self-improvement, then I make videos about all these amazing things. So definitely hit the subscribe button down below and join this amazing fam that we have. And it's very nice to have you inside this fam. And thank you so much for watching this video today. Hopefully I will see you on my next one.